Good morning, Ana. Jenny Flores. Good morning. Esther Martinez. Good morning. Good morning to you. Let me tell you, yesterday morning I got up real early because I had to go with my little sister. You never know what's going to happen when you show up places. Good morning, St. Martinez. So, I often accompany my little sister on early morning trips. And the day before, Soledad had been jodiendo with me about a project. And since we were up where there's a Walmart, because in this one cow town we don't have a Walmart. And then you go to Walmart, and as you expect things at Walmart, right? It's like look for it yourself because most of the employees don't even know what Walmart has in stock, right? And it made me mad because I was in Lawn and Garden looking for this, and there was a young man there. And I paid for one item because an older lady needed my cart. And I told her, go ahead and take it. Let me just take my little thing off of it. It was a little Christmas ornament, but I bought it because the ornament itself had 3 bells on it, and I wanted it for my bird cage for them to play with. So I paid 21 cents in Lawn and Garden, and I went ahead and asked the boy because I had already walked all of the aisles in Lawn and Garden, and I walked outside. That's how the lady found out that I left my cart inside by the door. I wasn't going to take the cart out because it had that one little 21-cent item on there because it was a 90% off. It was a Christmas item. So I told her to go ahead and take it. I paid for the thing, and I asked the boy, do you have any brackets for shelving? Because the bracket that I saw here is not what I'm looking for, and it's too expensive. And he looked at me like I was crazy. I'm like, do you think they have brackets in hardware? And he's like, I don't think so. Doesn't that make you mad? It's like, really? You little MF? You're going to tell me you don't think so? Hardware is supposed to carry different items, and Walmart is not going to let nothing slide. They have a lot of stuff. So I'm like, now I'm going to have to walk every aisle from hardware and from the paint department because I'm on a mission. Soledad's not going to stop from bugging me until I finish this mission and accomplish it. So I'm looking and looking and looking. My broke ass looked until I found it. And then I looked at the shelf, and I always make sure to look at the price tag under it, right? So I said, oh, okay, I need 2 of them. And it says $1.97 because you all know how Walmart has to have odd numbers. So I'm like, okay, $1.97. I need 2. So this is what the bracket looks like, right? It's a 12-inch bracket, and when you put it like that, up here you can put a 12-inch board, which will it's gonna make it a shelf. But this is what the part that I was looking for looks like, and it's got a little hole down here. Because on this part, you run the dowel stick, and then you put the little screw on the bottom so it won't be moving out of place. And I'll get the dowel stick at Alamo here. But I bought 2, mind you, because I saw a price of $1.97. And my little sister was already in the car when I got to the register. And the damn thing rings $4.96 each. I'm like, I'm a broke ass Mexican, and this thing just 150% markup from the price I saw on the shelf. I'm like, but it's probably right because of everything that's been going on. But the lazy person that's doing the restocking is not rechecking those labels. So I don't have time to argue because Ophelia's already in the car and calling me on the phone. So I went ahead and got the two shelves, and I brought them, and I'm like, today I'm sitting here and I'm like, I'm gonna go live before I get the drill and the extension cord and put the three screws that four. And then I said, oh wow, it even comes with the screws, so I won't have to be batallando looking for them. It comes with the screws right here. So it comes with everything. So all I have to do is take my drill out and go and do it. It's four screws that I have to screw onto the where I'm gonna put them. But I was cracking up because you all know Ophelia had court yesterday. I'm not gonna talk about it as a whole. I'm not gonna talk about it. But Ophelia didn't stay in court, and most of the time that I follow her there is because I don't know if they're gonna keep her or not. So I have to go so that I can bring Goito's car back. I'm not gonna lie to anybody. If they impound the car, then we have to pay. So no, they can impound Ophelia. uh, she won't stay there long, but if they're gonna impound anybody, it's just gonna be Ophelia, not just Ophelia and her car. No, that ain't gonna happen on my clock. But I was cracking up because I was hearing what was going on up there. I have nothing to do with that court, but I was in there. And you go into the court, and the first thing, yes, well, it's true, Esther. They can impound her. She's not gonna freeze. She makes sure she takes jackets and stuff. But the car, that's something else. That's Goyito's telemarketing. I don't know. So that's Goyito's car. So no. So so I go with her so that I can bring it back. I always make sure that if she goes into the courtroom, I have the keys. But yesterday when I went into the courtroom, because usually I go and I stay outside and I watch through the window, right? But other people were there yesterday that I could sit with and actually watch what was going on inside. So I go in there. But the first thing that I was told when I was walking into the courtroom was turn off your cell phone. So I'm like, I went and sat down. I made a funny face. I turned it off, completely off. And I put it in my pocket. And then as I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, it's 20 minutes later. I'm like, I could be charging this phone. I was playing for an hour and a half before they even let us into this room. My phone is at 40%. I could be charging the phone on their time while I sit here and wait and see what's going to happen, right? Meanwhile, I had seen the seven-story person there, and I had seen somebody else there. And I got up and I took my phone to behind that, opened the door and went to where that glass window was. There's a plug there. I connected my phone, dropped it on the floor, left it there, and went back inside. And I was like watching, and I'm like, oh, isn't there people missing here? Then I heard it was Ash Wednesday, and I'm like, oh, those are the cousins of Mother Teresa of Calcutta. They're hiding behind Mother Teresa of Calcutta's skirts, and that's why they're not here in the court. And then I kept waiting and waiting. They might show up later, maybe they just went and got their little ashes and acted stupid because, you go to church and you want to act like a holier than thou person. But as soon as you get out of there, your horns grow. It's like, come on now. So I'm still waiting, being the person that I am, right? I'm still waiting to see if they got out from under Mother Teresa of Calcutta's skirt, since they're so nasty and they're always thinking about being in between somebody's legs. It might as well be Mother Teresa of Calcutta on Ash Wednesday because they were not in court. So then I'm looking around and I'm like, oh, well, they're not going to show up. Then Ophelia gets called to the front. And then Everybody else gets called to the front, and everybody else gets told, you better not be talking about the case. And I'm like, okay. And they're like, and there's people missing here. So if they don't show up the next time, we're going to issue out warrants for their arrests. And I'm laughing. I'm laughing because they think that by hiding under Mother Teresa of Calcutta's skirt, they're going to get away from that judge. He looks like a nice person, a nice older person. But I mean, still, I mean, they just had to be told face to face what to do and what not to do. I turned off my phone as soon as they told me to turn it off. Certain 7-story individuals were in there taking pictures. But I'm not mentioning who, but yes, Anna, I didn't know you were there to be in court also. But Anna was there, Belda was there, and I was there, and other 2 people were there. And I'm glad that, we can get together and show solidarity and, and say, you know what? Yes, we know that you're going through this, but yes, we will overcome this and we will be polished like diamonds and come out better than ever. Yes, you're not part of that case. As long as you don't talk about the case. But, I was getting frustrated in there because there was disrespect inside of that courtroom. Not coming from us, of course, but just watching, And you watch all these 3-piece suits with double earrings and stuff, and they're not girls, hugging up on each other and stuff, and you're wondering what, you're wondering what kind of signals they're sending off in the courtroom. So, but hey, today is Thursday. The pulgas are open. Don't forget to go buy fruits and vegetables for the weekend so you can make trays to watch any game you watch on Sunday. I was just here to let you all know that, yes, I'm almost at 1,000. I needed 7 more people yesterday. I don't know. But we will get there. Cracking up about other people, it's like too funny to me. I usually try to obey people that have authority, and you can tell that there's people that don't care about authority and stuff. But talking about stuff like that, I'm going to change the subject a little bit because this week we received some bad news. But, how do you take bad news? Is it really bad, or you stay thinking like me, how do you handle this situation? Mm-hmm. It's weird because my sister Ophelia still talks to one of my mother's sister-in-laws. I want to say she's the only sister-in-law left on my mother's side. Oh no, there's another one, but she doesn't count. She never has counted. Not as much as this one, because the other one is a second wife, right? And I never have recognized her, even though she had 3 children, as my aunt. But this other person that my sister talks to gave her some news. And Ophelia waits until I'm sitting and this was on Tuesday night at her house. I was sitting in the living room, And she's with her face down playing her game because, yes, that's what we do. We spend time together, but we're trying to beat each other at games that we play, and we try to see how many trillions of points we can get more than the other person. The only difference is that I cannot buy points. I don't have credit cards and I'm not going to do it. So, Ophelia had got this news from her aunt. And I don't claim the lady, and I told her personally why wouldn't claim her or don't claim her now. And it's like, she would come to the valley from Florida. She would come over here with her husband, and never would they stop at my mom's house. Every time my mom would find out where they were, my mom would drive herself to wherever house they were staying at or whatever hotel they were staying at, but they never came to my mom's house. And I don't know what the deal is with my mom's children. Because this whole family on my mom's side would make family gatherings, and they would have the audacity to tell our mom, "You're invited because it's a family reunion, but your children are not invited." So when we started hearing about these reunions and how our mother would be told every 2 years, when they started making them, every 2 years she would be told, "You're invited, but your children are not." And our mother, well, we leave things in God's hands. But sometimes I say, God takes care of spiritual things. And if you can take care of something, do it yourself. That's why that lady got told, "You never visit our mom. You never stop and stay in our mom's house," or not that you need to stay there, but at least stay there and drink a coffee with her at her table. "I don't have to get off of this vehicle to go into your house." She was told in her face by me. I am not going to beat around the bush about things that get done in this family and why we do things the way we do them. So anyways, I don't know what happened years back. My mom's sister, who was her closest sister because they lived here in the same town, and her children were very close to us. We went to school together. But after we grew up and got married, something happened when her first son got married. She only had 2 sons and she had 4 daughters. So she had 6 children. But when her first son got married in Laredo, something happened. And I don't know what happened because I cried. I was in Texas City and I could not make it to that wedding. My favorite cousin was getting married and I didn't go because I could not make it to that wedding. I didn't have a good enough car at that time to make it from Texas City to Laredo. And apparently neither did one of my brothers because his car broke on its way over there. But my other brother picked him up and they still went. But something happened at that wedding, and ever since that wedding, they stopped talking to us. That wedding was over 25 years ago, maybe 30 years or more. So when Ophelia's aunt texted her and told her that her oldest cousin from that aunt had passed away, Ophelia didn't tell. I guess Ophelia acknowledged it to her. But Ophelia was waiting to see what my reaction was going to be when she told me. And I was sitting there playing my game. So was Ophelia. And she comes up with, your cousin passed away today. And I'm like, who? So then when I asked her who, Ophelia told me that it was this person, our oldest cousin from this aunt. And I sat there quiet for a little bit and I told Ophelia, hey, do you remember when it was last that you talked to her? I told her because I want to say that I haven't seen or spoken to this person in over 20 years. And her aunt passed away last year from her dad's side. And me and you went to the funeral and got mistreated at that funeral. So don't tell me that you're telling me this because you're planning to go to somebody's funeral that I'm not planning to go to. Because me and you said real clearly last year when we got mistreated by somebody's granddaughter, after we had been at the funeral home for 3 days, after the burial, they did something whatever they did, it was inappropriate. Because they could have told us from the first day at the funeral home that they didn't want us there. Because we're on YouTube and we cause so much commotion. And that's all they could have, that's all they should have said. And we would have stayed at home. So I asked Ophelia, when was the last time that you spoke to her? Because I have not spoken to this person that passed away in over 20 years. And I haven't seen her in over 20 years. Because they live in Laredo, and yes, they would come over here for family reunions and parties and stuff, but never acknowledged us for anything. And my daughter will recognize them anywhere. It's like, I have a better kid than me. But Ophelia said 2 years ago, I had called mom's sister because Ophelia and my little brother would talk to our aunt. And they would call her up. She's older, but they would call her up on her cell phone and talk to her and make her laugh and stuff. Well, I guess this chick got mad and took the phone away from our aunt because she had been talking to Ophelia. And she took the phone away from her. So Ophelia had no other way of communicating with her aunt. She's the only one that would call her. I don't pick up the phone to call people because I don't know if they're at work or if they're busy. So I don't bother people. But Ophelia would communicate with these people just like she does with this lady from Florida. And I'm like, I can't remember, Ophelia, the last time that I talked to her. So I have no intention of going to any funeral. I don't care if it's here in town or if it's in Laredo, because that's where she lived. And Ophelia says, well, I was just letting you know. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to give anybody any condolences because they don't talk to us. So I'm just telling you that I'm not going to no funeral after the way they behaved. Her side of the family, her dad's side of the family behaved with us at his sister's funeral. So we left the conversation like that and I kept playing my game. But all the while I was sitting there thinking, I knew what her job was. She was an important person at a hospital. But I'm like, did she have friends? She never got married. She's up there in her late 60s, almost 70. But I'm like, did she have friends? Are her friends going to show up? Because we were her relatives and I'm not going to show up. She hasn't talked to me in over 20 years. What am I going to say there? You know, they made sure that at every reunion they made, my mom's children were not invited. And, you know, yes, and I can leave everything to God, but I'm not. I'm a vengeful person. And this is the here and now. It's not the spiritual life and the afterlife. So, no. That stuff God takes care of. Everything else, you better take care of it yourself. And I'm being honest. You know, maybe I shouldn't be like that because I am not a mean person. But I do keep grudges against people. Especially people that do it over and over and over. So that's what I'm sitting here dealing with Soledad wanting me to finish this makeshift closet that I'm going to do in my walk-in restroom. One of these days, I'll show you all my walk-in restroom. I actually can show you all my walk-in restroom right now. The one side that I'm going to do a closet in has a bunch of bags because I bought a bunch of Christmas stuff for my daughter and I don't use that little space, so I'm gonna put it there. But I was in Texas City one time at an auction for the school, and I actually got one of those old cabinets that had the glass sliding doors, and I had purchased two because I outdid the bid because I wanted them. But then they asked me if I wanted both of them because somebody else wanted one for his wife. And then I was thinking, well, if I get both of them, am I being mean by getting both of them? And he really wants one for his wife. But if he was gonna get it, he had to pay what I bid on it. And I had already started the bid at $50 each, so they couldn't outbid me. And I would have gotten both of them, but I was trying to be nice, so I ended up just getting one. I don't think I have anything on the floor in my walk-in restroom. Let me go there and show you all what I'm talking about. Because this damn Soledad is bugging me, and I have makeshift stuff in that restroom, but that's okay. We're walking through my room, and let me turn on this light. And let me turn the camera over there. Oh. So, okay, so this is a French door. I took a window off of this wall of the room and I made a restroom in here. And see, right here is this china cabinet. Well, I'm going to attach these brackets right here. And this area will turn into a closet that I can open the door. I can open the French doors and get to my clothes on. But this is my walk-in restroom, see? I don't have a dirty restroom, but this is the cabinet that I was telling you all about. All the toilet paper. I tell people there's more toilet paper in this house than what people actually think. And that's my little chair. This is my shower. There's 3 chairs, medical chairs in that shower. Why? Because I'm old. And if I want to sit while I'm taking a shower, I will sit. While I'm taking a shower. And there's enough room where if I ever have to be helped to take a shower or anything, there's enough room for 2 or 3 people in there. You know, it's like, but that's how I made that shower because I was like thinking of my old age when I made it. I don't like tubs anyways. So back to where we were at. You wouldn't go? Well, we're not planning on going, Esther. But like I said, right now I'm dealing with these brackets that Soledad wants me to put there. Because when I bought this house, there was only like there's only one actual closet in this whole house. And it's only like the old fashioned ones that are like only 2 foot wide and maybe 4 foot. 4 foot wide and 2 feet deep. So, and that's in that one room, not in my room. In my room, they took an old cabinet and put it on the wall that had the 2 doors. And that's one of those cedar ones, because it's a cedar cabinet. And they put it in the wall. It sticks out into the other room from the back. And that's what they used in that room as a closet. Well, it's not very big. It's only like 4 foot. So then when I was doing the laundry room in the back, I did do a whole wall to hang clothes up on, and then on this side there's a little section. But I was telling my daughter, I don't go into that laundry room unless I have to wash clothes. The clothes that I wear is on this side of the house. So I'm not gonna. Last year, I took a lot of stuff out of that back closet, a lot, and just was putting it in bags, taking the hangers off of it and putting it in bags and putting it in the blue giveaway box for Goodwill, because I was not gonna deal with it. I wasn't gonna make a garage sale. I was in the I'm getting rid of stuff mode last year. And this year I still have to continue to try to get rid of stuff, but at the same time, I have to hang up my clothes somewhere because I don't want it in the back. Thank you. I don't want my stuff in the back, so it's like, Soledad just gives me work, and then I'm with the thoughts of, did my cousin have friends during her life, actual friends? Because she was a very quiet person. She never talked to anybody. She didn't talk. She never got herself in trouble or anything. But she never got married neither. So it's like, it makes you wonder. So I already took 30 of you all's minutes this morning. I'm going to let you all go on that note. Some people didn't learn, so I hope that they will learn next month and get out from under Mother Teresa of Calcutta's skirt. And yes, Lent started yesterday. So I'm going to be watching everybody for the next 40 days. I will know who gave up what. If you gave up chocolate for 40 days, if you gave up sweets for 40 days, sweet bread for 40 days, or if you gave up beer. I'm going to find out. And all the while that you see me, I'm not Roman Catholic, even if I was baptized in the Roman Catholic Church. And I am in the books, because everybody that gets baptized in a Roman Catholic Church is in the books at the Vatican in Rome. So trust me, I'm in those books, but I don't follow that. So my belief is everything, the last sacrifice was made on the cross. I'm not going to sacrifice anything. But if that's what you believe, that's fine. But don't overdo it on Easter Sunday. And just because you gave something up for 40 days on Easter Sunday, you're going to go overboard. If you give up drinking on Easter Sunday, don't drink so much that you're still going to want to drive and go and get more. And then go and cause an accident. Buy enough the Saturday before where your ass can sit at home and drink it all and stay there drunk at home. Don't be drinking and driving on Easter Sunday and causing some innocent person any hassles, hospital costs and everything, even loss of life, because you gave up something for 40 days because that's what you believe, and that's fine. But then on Easter Sunday, you're going to go drinking so much that you're going to cause an accident. No. Buy enough beer the day before Easter Sunday so that your ass can stay at home and drink until you don't want to get up. That's what I recommend. And if you think that I'm a tough bitch, oh well. Here's a coffee to you. Bye, everybody.